Thank you, James. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to one and all. I wish I could be at your conference today, but unfortunately my duties and responsibilities prevent me from joining you in person. As many of you know, this year marks the 100th anniversary of the Canadian Navy. In the past 100 years, the concept of maritime security has evolved considerably. In 1910, Canada believed it was largely safe from threats because of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans serving as buffers. Today we know that those oceans no longer afford the same protection and are in fact like superhighways. That's why it's essential that they be under close, constant surveillance. Canada must have the naval capabilities and strengths in its existing partnerships because no single state can achieve maritime security on its own. We should also continue to exchange and debate ideas with our friends and our allies on how to improve maritime security. That's why conferences like this one are so important in maintaining dialogue. This is especially true when dealing with the security in the Pacific and Indian Oceans, where complex and significant challenges continue to threaten peace and stability. The Government of Canada knows that it must protect our interests and contribute to the common global maritime security. With 3 oceans and the largest coastline in the world, our prosperity depends heavily on seaborne trade. And many of the security challenges that we face today have maritime dimensions. Terrorists and the criminal network, for example, use seaways to conduct their activities. And while piracy constitutes both an old and a renewed security challenge, we know it's crucial that we maintain strong navies and reinforce collaborative efforts to ensure the security of seaways and shipping routes. It's a matter of international prosperity, stability, and security. Canada is deeply committed to improving maritime security in a multinational setting. Our participation in Combined Task Force 150's counterterrorism efforts in the Northwest Indian Ocean is a prime example. Canadian ships have regularly served with CTF 150 from the start. And 2 years ago, Canada took command of the fleet with a destroyer, a frigate, and an auxiliary oil replenishment ship. And right now, one of our Navy's frigates, the HMCS Fredericton, is on its way back from a 6-month deployment, which included participation in CTF 150 operations. We also cooperate closely with our allies from NATO. Our Navy participation in the standing NATO maritime groups, which currently contribute to counter-piracy operations in the Gulf of Aden. The Pacific sees frequent Canadian ship deployments as well. Protecting shipping routes across this ocean is crucial, particularly with trade constantly growing. And increasing our cooperation with friends and allies around the Pacific Rim is an important priority for Canada. Canada's international maritime security efforts have included work with friends and allies to support important counter-narcotics and counter-proliferation operations, and a vitally important humanitarian side, as we saw again in the aftermath of the recent earthquake in Haiti. Canada was among the first nations to answer Haiti's cry for help, with 2 ships, the HMCS Halifax and HMCS Athabascan, departing in a matter of days after this devastating earthquake. Cooperation underpins our efforts to enhance maritime security in North America. In 2006, Canada and the United States expanded the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, to include a maritime warning function. The Canadian Navy and Coast Guard conduct exercises and collaborate in the area of maritime intelligence with their U.S. counterparts. And here at home, we are increasing collaboration between the Canadian government departments and agencies involved in maritime security. A good example is our Marine Security Operations Centers, or MSOCs, which are designed to increase our situational awareness of Canada's maritime domain and support a coordinated response to marine security threat or incident. Canada is also devoting more and more attention to maritime security challenges arising in the North. Fully exercising our sovereignty and ensuring security in our internal waters are key priorities for the government. The increasing accessibility of the Arctic is stressing Canada's need for a 3-ocean Navy and the importance of cooperation between the Canadian forces and other Canadian actors responsible for security in the region. That's why Canadian Navy ships take part in Operation Nanook, the biggest of the 3 recurring northern operations that the Canadian forces conduct. Last year, 2 ships and a submarine participated in this key operation, which also involved 15 partner organizations from federal, territorial, and local governments. Whether on the national, continental, or international stage, maritime security is an ongoing challenge. It is therefore crucial that we have the clearest picture of what is going on in our waters and the capabilities required to contribute to international maritime security in cooperation with allies and friends. This is why the Government of Canada intends to rebuild and equip the Canadian Navy with the ships and the assets it needs to accomplish its mission effectively, both at home and abroad. Our Navy plays a key role in the Canada First Defence Strategy, our blueprint for modernizing the Canadian forces. A blueprint that clearly shows that the Government of Canada understands the importance of maritime security and that we intend to take a leadership role in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you will make the most of this conference and stimulating further reflection on maritime security is in all our nation's interest. We must learn from each other and continue to strengthen our collaboration for secure oceans and seaways. Let me congratulate the conference organizers from MARPAC and thank participants for making this event such a success. I know that you will enjoy your time in Victoria, particularly the weather, and I thank you very much for participating.